the home grounds of the political animal. Where does it nest? What is its range? Would you be likely to run across one here? Well, perhaps. But do not assume that all political animals are cooped up in big buildings with bird cage-shaped domes. We are searching for patterns of behavior that would help us identify the political animal. Does it gather together in flocks? Has it social habits which set it apart from all other animals? Well, maybe. But do not jump to the conclusion that the species often referred to by the common name of politician is the only member of this large and fascinating order. We are trying to pinpoint what political activity is. Is it merely campaigning or voting? Does it occur only at 2 to 4 year intervals in response to a deep urge to throw the rascals out? Well, no. One finds that political activity is far from being cut and dried, depersonalized, limited only to scheduled occasions. That is, if one takes the trouble to zero in on the political animal. The political animal. Any human being intent on resolving conflicts and making rules that affect our behavior in society.
Reason. She says it's not fair for one bunch of kids to go downtown to eat and be suspended for it. When lots of kids go downtown all the time, and the teachers know they do, but they don't get into any trouble at all.
Did you ever hear of anything so dumb? So it's fun. Try it. You like it. Man, this is a riot.
Riot?
Conflict in the form of a difference of opinion is usually at the heart of political activity. Conflict over what we should do and what we should not do. Conflict over hows and whys and whens. It's obvious that there is conflict here in Lawrence High, and just as obvious that the administration and staff are not the only ones involved. What may not be so obvious is that if this conflict is not managed, Lawrence High could be open to extreme disorder. Having tracked the political animal to its lair, sometimes the halls of Congress, sometimes the halls of Lawrence High, let us now observe what is behind its behavior. Almost always it's an issue, but one issue may lead to another. Watch as the issue changes from the unfairness of punishing some but not others for breaking the rule to the unfairness of the rule itself.
Fair? How can it be fair when Greg gets sent home and others get away with going out to eat every day? I don't like having to eat in this whole cafeteria, and I think we have a right to go out to eat. Don't you understand?
Huh? Half hour you don't have to hand any homework in for, and everybody goes eating. What's everybody uptight about spending an extra half hour in the cafeteria? Yeah.
For the political animal, an issue becomes an issue because of values.
In 6 months, I'm going to vote. I can help decide who's going to run the country, but I can't decide what I'm going to eat and where. Everybody ought to be able to make up his own mind.
I don't care where I eat, just what. If they just put in vending machines so you could pick out what you wanted and when you wanted. If they did that, then there wouldn't be all the snarl in the parking lot they're afraid of. If they let us come and go during the noon hour.
Hey, what was all that jive? We heard it clear up on second floor.
Oh, Greg Watson's girlfriend thinks she ought to have the right to go out to lunch.
What for? She's always been out to lunch.
Does she think I want to go wading out in the rain? 6 blocks to the closest hamburger joint. And spend $1 for lunch when I can get one here for 40 cents? She is nuts.
Yeah, but I bet the teachers will be with her. Hey, Coach, how about it? You want to turn us loose for the lunch period and get a little peace and quiet?
You said it. Only one thing, though. There's still going to have to be a cafeteria. You know that, and probably a longer lunch period to get everybody who wants to leave in and out. But my contract says I only have to work half a 4th hour. You want me to agree to a longer cafeteria duty for the same pay? Sorry, you guys aren't that much fun to eat with.
My rule? It's not my rule to change. The school board policy says that all schools in Unified District 497 must have closed lunch periods. I don't know that I would change it. I'm not sure this would be in the best interest of the students. Look at it this way. The lunches are hot, they're planned by a dietitian, and they're very inexpensive thanks to the Class A lunch program. Now, I know that some want vending machines, but under the federal program, we're not permitted to offer alternatives that can compete with the Class A lunches. Then with your present schedule, you have a minimum of lost time, and you get out at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, state law says that you must have a minimum number of hours in class each day. If you had your open lunch hour, it would have to be an hour. Then you would get out at 3:30. Actually, it seems that our present setup is all to your advantage.
When the political animal sets out to alter policy, it puts into play whatever political resources are at hand to make its influence felt.
What is all this?
You know Morse code?
No. You?
You. Dit-dit-dot, we want out.
If they just spend half this much energy on their schoolwork.
In my course, I'm going to see that they do. This is the lesson for today. Many of these things we consider to be our constitutional rights are not actually spelled out there. We have those privileges because of interpretation by the Supreme Court of articles in the Bill of Rights.
But it says we can't be deprived of our liberty. We have a right to leave if we want to.
Anyone else see a relationship between the Bill of Rights and the open lunch hour issue?
What about cruel and unusual punishment? That's what eating in the cafeteria is.
Oh, what about my liberty? Right now I'm fit to go to my job at 3 o'clock. If she gets her way, I lose half an hour's pay so she can have a long lunch hour to goof off in.
We have a point there. So,
the faculty member who makes a school controversy the subject of an open forum is using one kind of political resource.
What can help her can hinder him and vice versa. What do you think about that?
Everybody pick up.
While someone else may be using another kind.
There are 2 lists on each of these papers, and you choose 5 from each. That'll be enough, Greg.
Proving, perhaps, that no political animal is without political resources.
So the scout that's behind it, Debbie, has gotten all these groups to take a stand. The football team, the girls' glee club, the kids in the work-study program, and she brings their views to student council. Resolved that we, the council, take the open lunch proposal to the school board.
Well, are you going to do it?
Do you think we should?
I don't know. When I was your age, I went home for lunch.
No, I don't think most of the kids want to go home. But we'll see. There's an all-student assembly on it Monday.
You know, as student council president, you can be very influential on this issue.
Those in favor of retaining the present rules on school lunch, say aye. Those opposed? This isn't just a joke, you know. If you expect the school board to take us seriously, you'll have to put your name on the petition. Our position would be stronger if we had some letters from outside endorsing it, like parents and townspeople.
Could you sign my petition for open lunch proposal at Lawrence High School?
No, I'm sorry. I don't believe I can go on record for that.
Okay, thank you.
They want me to help them get out of school at noon. But I can remember what it was like before they had this closed lunch hour, where there'd be a gang of them in here at the booths nursing one Coke and making a lot of racket. People that wanted lunch couldn't get in and didn't want to. I think I'll call that principal and tell him I'm opposed to this, and why.
Oh, Danny, we were wondering, since your mother's on the school board, could you talk to her ahead of time and kind of pave the way to get the policy on the closed lunch hour changed?
I don't think so, Nancy.
We can give you all the reasons why.
But Joanne...
Oh, come on, Danny. Why couldn't you talk to her just for a minute?
Hi, Mom.
Hi, honey.
Mom, I was wondering, well, you are going to vote for the open lunch period at the school board meeting tonight, aren't you?
Yes, I'm going to vote. But I really haven't decided how I'm going to vote.
Well, Mom, how do you think your vote's going to affect me at school?
Do you think it's going to influence your relationship with the other students?
Yes, I really do. And I'd really appreciate it if you did vote for the open lunch period.
I got it. I got Reich to sign a letter of endorsement.
The principal? You must have done some talking.
He nearly ruined it by putting in that students who leave at noon should be prohibited from using the parking lot, so there won't be all the racket from the cars.
Well, at least he's not dead set against it.
I can't tonight, Greg. Well, you ought to know. It's the meeting with the school board about open lunch. Oh, I give up. It was your rights that were being infringed.
And now, at last, the political animal meets the policymakers.
Have we got everything? The petition, the endorsements, the working procedures, how we think it could be implemented?
Just relax, John. The worst that could happen is that we keep on eating cafeteria food.
I'm still kind of nervous.
Would the LHS Student Council President please come forward and present his proposal?
How will the policymakers react?
I have with me a list of 400 names. It's a petition.
The political animal may sometimes doubt its powers until the right issue comes along, and then it may surprise itself. The political animal may protest that it has no pull, no political resources to call upon, and yet it is likely to seize naturally on the very resource which will sway the most support the most quickly to its cause. Protest, discussion, informal and formal organized effort, all were resources used at Lawrence High. The political animal may condemn politics as an underhanded, dirty business that only certain characters would stoop to, and all the time it will be politicking to beat the band. The political animal tries to exercise influence in an effort to bring about policy decisions, but it may not be completely successful.
No.
It is unlikely that the young politicians of Lawrence High will have it all their own way. They will probably have to accept the fact that they must stay in school longer, until 3:30, and have restrictions on their parking lot privileges in return for an open lunch hour. Or they may have to settle for even less.
3 votes for, 3 votes against. Looks like my vote is the deciding vote. The merchants oppose it. Most students are for it. The principal is for it with some reservations. And then there is my son.
Whatever the outcome here tonight, the political animal is likely to be back in action again. Vigor, persistence, and a conviction that its way is the right way seem to be common characteristics of the political animal.